With God of War stealing most of the spotlight this month, a lot of smaller games may have gone unnoticed, and we're here to bring them to your attention. Today in gameranx, here are 5 smaller yet awesome games from April 2018. Starting off at number 5, we have Adventure Pals, which is a side-scrolling platformer where you and your 2 best friends, a rock and a giraffe, set out on an adventure to take on a villain who's trying to take over the world by turning old people into hot dogs. So now that we've set the tone, obviously this game doesn't take itself seriously whatsoever, and I don't mean that in a bad way. In fact, that absurd plot that I just outlined for you and the rest of the ridiculousness is what makes this game so charming and fun, along with the cutesy graphics and the very fun writing. It controls exactly how you would think it would, and the controls feel great, and jumping around levels and fighting enemies is super satisfying. There are some light RPG elements as well. Fighting enemies will earn you XP, which you can use to level yourself up and learn new skills. The world of Adventure Pals is super vibrant, along with every character in it. I know it looks like it's made for kids, and it very well might be, but even as an adult, there's no way this game won't put a smile on your face. Next, at number 4, we have Minit. This is a top-down adventure game that you play in 60-second intervals, hence the name Minit. But every 60 seconds, no matter what you're doing or what you're in the middle of, your character will die and respawn at the nearest respawn point. I know that mechanic sounds like it might be a little annoying, and it definitely can be annoying at times, but for the most part, I think it works pretty well. Unlocked areas and certain items don't reset upon death, so for the most part, your progress does stay. It's really more of a puzzle game than an adventure game, and that timer just kind of, rushes you to figure things out. You do find different items that will give you new abilities that will help you get into other areas of the map, and don't worry, you can find new respawn points as you play, so you aren't always respawning at the same place and spending most of your minute running back to whatever the part of the map you were at. The game isn't that mean. It's definitely not the easiest game, but it also isn't painfully hard. It's a nice little fun pickup for sure. Next, at number 3, we have Friday the 13th puzzle game, which is actually something I've been brushing off as like a whatever game, and I was actually very wrong because it's an absolute blast. If you're a fan of puzzle games like the Square Enix Go games, I think this will be right up your alley. You play as Jason Voorhees, and your goal is to murder everyone. There's really no surprise there. You'll go from Camp Crystal Lake to jail to space to a cruise ship, and I think there's a medieval level in there too, which is really weird. It's very goofy. It doesn't take itself seriously at all. Mrs. Voorhees' decapitated head actually runs you through the new mechanics that are thrown at you and gives you hints. It's really wacky. It's super addicting too, like it's very hard to walk away from, and the levels all move so quick, so you're constantly flying through to get to the new areas. Just know that while it is a free-to-play game, there are some in-game purchases as well. There are 12 episodes, and 4 of them you have to buy for $3 a piece, and certain skins have to be bought too, but each level does actually come with one, so you do get new skins for free. Honestly, with how fun this game is and how they give you more than half of the levels, I really don't mind spending the extra $12 it costs to get the other 4 episodes, because the game is very fun, it's very addicting, and the developers made something really good. So just take it from me and don't sleep on this game. Coming in at number 2, we have Frostpunk, which is interestingly enough a city builder, but also a survival game. First off, this is made by the team that brought us This War of Mine, so you know it's going to be super sad and depressing, and definitely not something you're going to play to feel good. You're in charge of building and maintaining the last city on Earth, and just like other city builders, you're in charge of keeping your citizens happy, but also maintaining your city as well, researching new technologies to help grow your city. Exploration is key here too. Setting out search parties will yield great supplies, and there are also people out in the frost to find and bring back to help grow your population. While at its heart, it definitely is a city builder, the setting and survival elements really help to set it apart from other games in the genre. There's also going to be content add-ons as well released in the future, so you can keep playing well after seeing everything the game has to offer. Finally, at number 1, we have the Swords of Ditto, which is something I've had my eye on for a little over a year now. It's a roguelike top-down action-adventure game where you take on the role of the Sword of Ditto, and you're tasked with taking on the evil witch Mormo. But it being a roguelike means that you're going to be dying over and over again. And every time you die, the game fast-forwards 100 years, and you play as an entirely new character. First off, from a gameplay perspective, it's a really good time. Everything about it is simple enough to not be too easy, and nothing ever really gets like straight up hard. The combat is straightforward, but each enemy does have different attacks, so it kind of forces you to change up how you play a little bit with each enemy, learning how to easily take them down. Puzzles are also pretty simple. They're fairly simple but engaging. The map is semi-procedurally generated, with different sections getting pieced together randomly upon every death, so the map is always changing up. Dungeons get changed up each playthrough as well, with different modifiers going into effect each time. And the art style, I mean, come on, it looks great. The cutesy cartoony animation looks phenomenal here, and that's what initially brought my attention to the game in the first place. But there is one thing about this game that's like pretty annoying, and that is the timer, which is kind of different than the timer in Minit. You only have a few in-game days to play, explore, gather items, level up, etc., because on the final day, you're forced to fight the boss, which is kind of a bummer because the days aren't exactly long, and it makes it kind of hard to explore the world to its fullest extent. Overall, besides that, the game is definitely a good time. If you're a fan of the old school Zelda games, this probably will be right up your alley. And those are 5 smaller yet awesome games from April 2018 that we think you should check out. But we want to hear from you, so meet us down in the comments and let us know what you think. And as I'm sure you already know, hitting that like button really helps us out. And if you're new here, subscribing is a good idea because we put up videos like this every single day. As always, thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.